oh my, or yeah, baby. Welcome to another installment in the Over My Shoulder Bible Study series. These brief videos supplement the sermon that I preach each Sunday here with the Missouri Street Church of Christ in Baytown, Texas. This Sunday I'll be preaching from the Song of Songs, arguably one of the most neglected books in all the Bible. And if you've read it, if you haven't neglected it, well, it's either, oh my, or yeah, baby. The Song of Songs, if nothing, is candid. It's graphic in places. What's it doing in our Bible? Let me share just two things that may be helpful to you as you read the Song of Songs. There's so much more that we could talk about, but I want to focus on the structure of this book and also where you can go if you'd like to find more information and dive deep into this book. First of all, let's look at the structure of the book. It's a chiastic structure, and that's a fancy way of saying that the main point is in the middle of the book, not at the end. There are components that correspond to each other that narrow like a funnel to the center of the book. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Chapter 1, all the way through verse 7 of chapter 2, deals with expressions between the man and the woman of mutual love. There are occasional instances where a chorus, friends, interject thoughts, but this is primarily the man and the woman sharing their mutual love for each other in words. In chapter 8, at the end of the book, verse 5 through 14, though the section is much shorter than that at the beginning, at the intro, it's exactly the same sort of material. The two speakers are sharing words of mutual love for each other. Now, let's go back to chapter 2 and verse 8 where we left off. In chapter 2, verse 8, through the end of that chapter, verse 17, the man invites the woman out into the countryside, join him on a romp through the country, as it were. Chapter 7, verse 11 through where we began earlier in chapter 8, verse 4, this section here corresponds to that in chapter 2, verse 8 through 17. Only here it's the woman who's inviting the man out to the countryside for a romp. Interesting, isn't it? Chapter 3, first 5 verses. All night long I long on my bed. I looked for the one my heart loves. I looked for him, but didn't find him. There's a search during the night in these first 5 verses of chapter 3 by the woman. And then in chapter 5, verse 2 and following, it's a much longer section. It extends all the way to the end of verse 10 of chapter 7. There's an extended nighttime search by the woman. You catch that at the very beginning of that section. I slept, but my heart was awake. And so you have expressions of mutual love. You have, let's go to the countryside and be with each other. You have a search in the night, and that only leaves one section left now, and that's here in chapter 3, verse 6 through chapter 5, verse 1, the center of the book. And the center of the book is the wedding day. If you're looking for a neat little outline of the Song of Songs, there it is. If you want to take a screenshot of it, maybe you can decipher my, I call it encryption. That's my terrible handwriting, but that's the idea. A chiastic outline of the Song of Songs. Well, now, what about other material, other resources that can help you in your study? If you really want to dive deep and get technical, you'd be hard-pressed, in my opinion, to beat Tremper Longman's work in the New International Commentary series. There's some wonderful commentaries in this series, and Longman is one of my favorite Old Testament scholars. It's a thick book for such a short book in the Bible, and you'll find just about everything that's discussed in the Song of Songs turned over and looked at several different ways. Longman has the advantage of being not only a very fine scholar, he's also able to write in such a way that it's very accessible for just the average Joe Blow in the pew. Good book to have. A good accompaniment to that is Ellen Davis's work. Now, it's much more brief. You'll notice it's about the same thickness, but her work here covers not only the Song of Songs, but all of Proverbs and Ecclesiastes in this very brief work. And so her segment on the Song of Songs is rather thin. but don't let that deceive you. It's extremely rich. Now, the only downside is these two works came out almost exactly at the same time, and while in so doing, well, Longman couldn't take advantage of Davis's work and vice versa. These two complement each other very well, though. If you happen to be a teacher or a preacher, you may especially be interested in this. Eugene Peterson, what a prolific writer of time gone by, such a wonderful writer as well. One of his better-known works early on, 5 Smooth Stones for Pastoral Work, and the very first of these 5 stones is his discussion of the Song of Songs. There's about 40 pages there. Extremely rich material. If you're teaching or preaching through the Song of Songs, I'd highly encourage it. If you'd like to see some discussion of not only the structure of the Song of Songs, but for that matter, every book of the Old Testament, you've seen me recommend this book before, The Literary Structure of the Old Testament, a commentary on Genesis and Malachi by David Dorsey. This little book, printed by Baker Publishing, really, really well done, and especially emphasizes what is often overlooked in so much of Old Testament studies, and that is chiastic structure. This outline that I gave you at the beginning, I've stolen this shamelessly from Dorsey's work, and it's only one of many chiastic structures that you'll find within the Song of Songs. So you'll find it on a macro level and a micro level, chiastic structure in the Song of Songs. I'll close this little video with a brief quote. Now, this commentary is the best one-volume commentary on the Bible on the market today, in my opinion. It was edited by Mark Hamilton. This is from authors from ACU largely, and is entitled simply The Transforming Word. Notice the closing words of Mark Hamilton's comments as he writes the commentary on the Song of Songs. Song of Songs says virtually nothing about God, worship, ethics, or any other of the key topics of biblical theology. It lives in the extraordinary world of everyday love. The poem celebrates mutual human fulfillment in a beautiful world. If love truly is stronger than death, then humans have hope under God that a greater love than ours can translate human failing and evil into something exceeding our imagination. The song offers a foretaste of just such a world. I say, amen. Grace and peace be with us all.